Gone. The kiosk, the food, the plates, the pot, everything vanished into thin air. The city of Maduri was known for its bustling markets, where food vendors lined the streets, selling everything from grilled meats to steaming pots of soup. But among them, one vendor stood out like no other, Madam Cairo. Her kiosk seemed to appear out of nowhere one fateful morning, located at a prime spot where hungry workers and passers-by couldn't resist stopping. Madam Cairo's food was different. The aroma alone was so intoxicating that people would stop in their tracks, unable to move until they had a taste. The flavors were beyond description, making her meals utterly irresistible. It wasn't long before car owners abandoned fancy restaurants just to line up at her kiosk. People even fought over who would get served first. But with her rapid success came jealousy. Other food vendors in the area, including Mommy Kate, who had been selling food for over a decade, couldn't understand how Madam Cairo had taken over so quickly. Where did she come from? Why did no one know her family? And, most importantly, how was her food so uniquely delicious? What made her business even more mysterious was that not even her workers, the young boys and girls who served food to customers, knew how the meals were prepared. Every morning, they arrived at the kiosk only to find steaming pots of fresh, fragrant food already waiting for them. The cooking itself was never seen. No one knew when or how it was done. Rumors spread, but none were confirmed, until one fateful night when Mommy Kate decided to uncover the truth. One cold night, Mommy Kate made up her mind she would stay back in her shop, hidden, to watch Madam Cairo cook. No one had ever seen her prepare her meals, they only saw the food when it was already cooked. Mommy Kate wanted to see the process, to know the secret behind the taste. She lay on a wooden bench in her shop, eyes peeking through a small gap, waiting for Madam Cairo to start cooking. Hours passed, and just when Mommy Kate thought she would see nothing, a dim light flickered from Madam Cairo's kiosk. Mommy Kate leaned forward. Her hands began to tremble as she saw the most horrifying sight of her life. Madam Cairo wasn't using a wooden spoon or a ladle to stir her soup, she was using a human hand. A lifeless, pale hand, still attached to an arm that extended into the darkness. Mommy Kate's body stiffened. Her breath caught in her throat. She wanted to scream but no sound came out. The hand swallowed the thick, bubbling soup in slow, rhythmic motions. A sinister smile spread across Madam Cairo's face as she tasted the broth. Mommy Kate knew she had to leave, but her legs refused to move. Panic gripped her chest. What had she just witnessed? She somehow managed to crawl back into her shop and shut her eyes tightly. That night, sleep refused to come, and by morning, she was still in shock. The next night, curiosity overtook her fear. She needed to know more. When Madam Cairo packed up and began walking home, Mommy Kate followed her from a safe distance. The journey was long, leading outside the city, past abandoned streets, and into a dense forest path. Mommy Kate's heartbeat pounded against her ribs. Then, Madam Cairo stopped. She turned and looked around as if sensing something. Mommy Kate hid behind a tree, holding her breath. Then, before her very eyes, Madam Cairo walked straight into the thickest part of the woods and vanished. Mommy Kate's legs wobbled, and before she could process what she had seen, her vision darkened, and she fainted. The next morning, Mommy Kate awoke to people standing over her in the marketplace. "Mad woman," someone whispered. "What happened to her?" another person asked. Mommy Kate tried to speak, but her words made no sense. Her tongue felt twisted. When she grabbed a pen and paper to write, her hand scribbled gibberish. It was as if she had been cursed into silence. Days turned to weeks. Weeks turned to months. People pitied her, and others mocked her, saying she had lost her mind. And Madam Cairo? She continued to sell her irresistible food, attracting more and more customers. One day, a bricklayer named Festus arrived at Madam Cairo's kiosk. Like everyone else, he was eager to taste her famous food. But when it was his turn to be served, something strange happened. Their eyes met. Festus froze. His hands trembled. He stepped back. "I know you from somewhere," he said, his voice unsure. Madam Cairo's smile faltered. "No, you don't," she said quickly. Festus shook his head. "Are you not Clara? From Shanty Town? But you died years ago." A heavy silence fell upon the market. The air turned cold. Madam Cairo's face twisted, her eyes burning with something dark and unnatural. Before anyone could react, she let out a terrifying shriek, and in an instant she disappeared. Gone. The kiosk, the food, the plates, the pot, everything vanished into thin air. The people screamed and fled, leaving the marketplace in chaos. Hours later, a trembling Festus recounted his story. Years ago, in a remote village called Shanty Town, there was a young woman named Clara. She was accused of witchcraft and mysterious killings that plagued the town. One night, the villagers set her hut on fire, burning her alive. But before she perished, she vowed revenge. Now, she had returned, feeding the people who once shunned her, with food that no one should have ever eaten. With Clara's spirit exposed, the curse on Mommy Kate was lifted. She could finally speak again. She revealed everything: the chilling sight of a human hand stirring the soup, the eerie journey into the woods, and the unspeakable horror she witnessed that night. Fear swept through the city like wildfire. No one could say for certain what effect Madam Cairo's food had on those who had consumed it, but many believed its influence was more spiritual than physical. From that day forward, no one ever dared to eat from an unknown food vendor again. Dear viewers, always be cautious of where you eat. Not every delicious meal is made with clean hands, and not every smiling face is truly human. And before we go, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, now's the perfect time. Just hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss more inspiring life lesson stories like this one. To my amazing returning subscribers, thank you for your unwavering support. Your encouragement makes it possible to share these stories and spread meaningful messages. If you've watched till the very end, you're the real MVP. I truly appreciate you more than words can say. See you in the next video. Take care and bye for now.